dice.
Hello.
Hello and welcome everyone. Just perfect time for that hello to come in there, Waldo. And welcome back to the Dumbass class. With me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and of course the boys as always. As we carry on our tabletop RPG. My brain just had a fart and it stopped me in my tracks. We're on with our tabletop RPG sessions with some more Dark Heresy. In the last episode, our group of soon-to-be acolytes, perhaps, came up from the Underhive, where in the Underhive they had found a archaeotech device that was being guarded by two tech priests in metal armor, let's just say, and a load of mutants, along with a couple of renegade Imperial Guard officers and units. But instead of bringing them to justice, they decided to do a deal with them and made their way back up to their club, the Raven's Court. And our game will carry on at about 10 p.m. You guys have literally walked through, maybe you gave the servitor an order just to cook some food. When you came into the Raven's Court, going through the front door, it's a good night. There are a lot of people who seem to be enjoying themselves. I think I mentioned last time that your club had dodged the recruiters, who are now going from not quite door to door, picking up people who don't have a useful job for the new guard regiment that is being founded. But things to note. Liliana, as you come in and perhaps you walk off straight to your room to go and see if Tiffany is there, she is not. But everything else in the club is as it should be.
Okay. I'm gonna just take a shower. Because we're down there in the muck. So, get a shower, get ready.
What
I
guy's
don't
probably
know
gonna
the
do the same?
correlations between taking showers and making money, but okay.
Intimate.
We were down there in the mud, yes. We were way down there. In the Underhive, remember?
Yes, I do.
Just to keep in mind, you do own this building. Showers in a hive are still quite a luxury item, so 5 thrones per shower.
No worries. I did pay a lot of money for this room, so...
Fucking microtransactions.
Yes, the Imperium loves them. The Imperium took that idea and went fucking everything. Everything. You want toilet paper? Microtransaction. You want water out the tap? Microtransaction. Electricity.
I didn't realize EA ran the Imperium.
EE, you know, he just got rid of
Yeah.
one. He just got rid of one of the. He was like, well, I'm the big E, so we'll get rid of that A, and your ideas are now mine.
No, the A is the administratum.
Emperor's Administratum, there you go. That fucking makes sense now. Shit.
So with a new secret of the law unlocked, is there anything you guys want to do? If you want to discuss anything, any plans, this would be the time to do it.
I'd probably want to just have a quick word with Jenny and ask her if she knows where I can get a good quality picked recorder camera thing, and also ask her if she could help me study the runes that I got her to take the picture of, or got Hector to take the pictures of, because she's better with all that stuff than I am.
The pict recorder. I imagine that would be something to ask the Jealous Grave of. I mean, they hooked us up with technology last time.
Yeah, but the technology they hooked us up with last time was just look in the corner at my twitching servo skull. Just
I don't know what you're on about. Mine works perfectly, and I just tabbed the cogitator case.
One was a good lad.
Yes, but okay, well maybe you're the one that does the negotiations with them. They didn't seem to like me.
I don't know if you picked up on that or not, but I'm not the greatest at this human interaction stuff.
It's
Thought
easy.
that'd be obvious by now.
Just pretend you're you're not an engine seer.
Slap. That's just physical slap.
I deserve that one. Tried humor doesn't work with a tech priest. But you have a more affinity with the technical people than I do.
They're not technical people, they're smugglers.
Yes, who gave you all working gear and me a busted server skull.
It's not busted, it's just an older model. Yes, that's...
Meanwhile, in the other room, there's just this flying, broken ass skull saying, "Do you love me, Dad?"
Look, not everything can be shiny and new.
It's just continually driving itself forward into a wall, bouncing off, shaking, and driving itself back into the wall.
Wait,
Yes.
what's the fly? Wait. I don't remember this. I don't remember this. I'll be honest.
It's fine. It's like, and if you won't help me negotiate to get a pit recorder, will you at least help me to research these symbols?
Do what I can. Symbolism and heraldry were not exactly my courses of study.
Nor
Would it not
mine.
be- Who you getting this picked recorder of? Or did you recommend?
The Jealous Grave, I mean, they were the ones who hooked us up last time with high tech.
So, just to clarify, you don't have to go to the Jealous Grave to get a pick recorder. It's not military technology.
Okay.
So you can go to the general marketplaces and look for
Would Dave have one?
You will need to do a inquiry roll for this because it is a specialized piece. It's not something everyone's going to have. Let me just have a look and see what it would be. I actually think it's not inquiry. I think it's actually... No, it is inquiry.
Would it be possible for, I forget the name, Shady Dave to get it for us?
Dodgy
Dave.
That's
Dodgy
shitty,
Dave,
dude.
yes.
So, yeah, you again, you could go to Dodgy Dave. He will want more, and you won't... So, you can go to Dodgy Dave and he can get it for you. The quality of it is going to be a bit suspect, because remember, he's a level below you. Right now, you're in the middle hive. Yes, you're in the middle hive. He's in the lower hive. Now, whilst he does do a bit of business in between, and he did help you with contacts getting stuff set up here, as an NPC, he is built for lower stuff. You know, lower quality, lower goods. I edited him a little bit so that he had more contacts that he could call upon for military gear. He can help you. It might take a few days, and there might be a bit more of Nuffle's decision if it's going to be what quality he can find, or you guys can do it, because this is something that you can find in the Middle Hive. it may just take, again, a couple of days of wandering around, asking people, right, do you know a pick recorder studio, a pick recorder merchant? So it's entirely up to you. It will depend on how you want to spend your time. And I will add, if nothing really prudent comes up from you guys, there will be a time skip. So it might be something that you want to
Hey,
do
time
during
skip
the
only means that I get more time to fuck around with Albie's gun.
Ezio's gun.
Because I
Yes.
still need to
yes.
figure that shit.
And it also gives me more time to now find this
Also,
pick
for the
recorder.
pick recorder, does it have to be? Sorry. Does it have to be Jenny to find it, or could we also
No.
find it?
Anyone can. Jenny doesn't have to do shit. You know, anyone can go onto the streets and go around and look at shops, because this is the thing. You're looking for something mundane. It's not a military-only
I'll
item.
help Waldo then. Mordecai with finding a pick recorder. Do you want to roll now? Or
No. You're still in the evening talking about, you know, if there's any conversations you want to have about what the fuck you've just seen and what you're going through and what missions you've got to do. Like, this is the time to bring it up.
Right.
Well, we have to. I just said to everyone, well, we have to figure out how to gain those Psychos trusts. We can't leave that kid down there.
Yeah, but we also need money first, so I suggest we focus on making money first. Just my 2 cents.
But, well, we've got this place now, and running guns down there might help us get more money. I think that was the long and short of.
It's not. They're not going to give us money. They're going to give us fungus, but we can turn that fungus into money.
Fungus made a lot of money last time.
Yeah.
Fungus is good.
Contact Dutchy Dave for some cheap lower hive stuff and sell it to them. Or do you think they want middle hive?
Don't forget, their head guys, their leaders basically, they're former guard. They're going to know quality, so they will actually pay us appropriately. It may be twists, but you know, some seem to have brains.
Maybe we can arrange something with Mr. Black. Potentially. Give him a cut of the profits. Do you think that would work, Darius? You know guard better than I do.
Yeah, but the thing is, So what do? We go to Black to buy some guns.
Thing is, Black Black doubles the price, or he charges exorbitant prices for the weapons, and I doubt he would really bother. We had to come to him. Don't forget, I doubt he's going to deliver to what he sees as below hive scum in the the lower hive or under hive even.
I wonder if Nightshade cooled her jets after the last time.
What about guns from the Poison Kiss or those fucking drug heads we wiped out? Almost wiped out, at least.
I'm sure the Poison Kiss would be pathetic because they have a arrangement with Wild Wardens at least. So, yeah. Liliana, what do you think? Do you think you're the ones that gets along with them best?
Isn't she in the shower?
I now at the shower. I'm right next to you, Darius, and it's been, what, 2 weeks since that incident? I do believe we need to give them more time. It's not that... Tiffany is probably our best bet right now in killing things off with the poison kiss. And they're good people, but they're currently pissed at us, so just give them time. I don't think we should go to the poison kiss just yet.
Oh. I mean, so give it a bit of time and then we can try and help out the Wild Wardens, is the plan.
Yes, the thing is too, how do we plan on helping the Wild Wardens? If we're going to be giving them guns, we can just go buy civilian guns. It's not great or anything, but if we do want to give them something better, we're probably gonna have to work for it.
This question as a player, what would I know of civilian guns from the midlife? Would they be good enough for them, for the wardens? Would they need something better?
You have no idea what they want or if they want better. That's something I can't answer. For what civilian guns are like, all the weapons you started with were basically civilian guns. Basically, the military holds power over all heavy weapons, all las weapons, except from the civets, civilian las gun, because it's underpowered. And things that go boom. In the enforcer market, you have solid projectile weapons, things like shotguns, auto guns, and that kind of ballistic weapons. For the civilian market, you have things like your stead holder, pistols such as not so much auto pistols. It would be more things like the stub revolvers, the stub automatics, underpowered civilian weaponry.
I have a question.
So that would be the kind of weaponry. Sure, Jacina. Jenny.
Could I technically make weapons?
You can, because... So it would. You can't make things like las weapons.
I would need like a workshop, and
you could make things like the stub revolvers, because that's something that they make in a hive. You know, they're hive variants made on every hive world to equip the hive dwellers. You know, and the local guards and shit. So it is something you could make. But you would at least be aware that, you need a workshop. You do need some specialist tools that you could perhaps be able to acquire. But the amount of work to acquire them versus the reward is probably not worthwhile.
It's just something I was curious about.
But there are certain things that you could make. But again, you just need to get the pieces. Like, technically, you can make... And it's also... Like, this part...
You could technically make drugs.
You can make drugs. Technically, this is tech heresy, but it is something that you can do. You can make, like, junkyard equipment. Shock gloves that are rubber gloves that have a metal coil around them that attach to a las gun cell. It is heretic because it is not a standard template construct design, but it is something you could easily make. That does come down to how far Jenny's willing to toe the line of the Mechanicus's rules.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be a technically that's a big one because that's adaptation and free think. It's like adaptation and free think. But yeah.
Free thinking in my Mechanicus? I don't think so.
You know, we could also go another route. We could just go repossess guns. I mean, think about it. We did eliminate the acid rat. If we had taken out every single one of their, well, guns and armor, we could have taken down their. Except the acid rat is now gone. Poison Kiss mopped up the rest of them. And we can't get guns from them, but there may be smaller gangs all over the place. And by doing that, if they're in our region, we can technically expand our, well, tariff.
It sounds like a reasonable plan. I would imagine many smaller gangs have risen up to fill the vacuum we left. I mean, we did, so why not others?
And think about it, it would also be an excellent tool for us.
Why don't we send out some of those gang members or recruits or whatever the hell you want to call them and tell them to look around for stragglers of the Acid Riot. Find out where they are. We'll reappropriate their stuff and, sell what we need to sell and take what we need. How about that? Helps your Poison Kiss allies by cleaning up what's left of the mess that they couldn't get, and potentially makes us a small profit that goes towards our goal.
Sounds reasonable.
It does.
While that's happening, we can do something else because we don't have to. We shouldn't have to watch these monkeys, whatever the hell you call them. The recruits, free labor, whatever.
I should have an idea. We are talking about the minor gangs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are armed. Shitty weapons, but they are slightly armed. How about we take our 30 men out for a spin? Give them some live combat training.
That's kind of the idea, only we have our guys scout first, find out where they are, and then do that, rather than just taking a group of people that can attract attention very easily, straight away.
So there is another route. Could try to go bigger, but it is still guns.
There's that too. I think I did bring that up before.
Raid an army or something.
Well, it depends how much on the radar we want to put ourselves on. Because let's be honest, if we start growing too fast, too quickly, people are going to notice the gangs, yes, but also the authorities. Nobody likes a rogue element, and that is still what we ultimately are.
We're in the middle of a
Do we
recruitment drive, right?
who funds the Poison Kiss?
No, we don't.
Yes, the noble lady.
No, he's asking about Poison Kiss. Yeah, we know they have like a noble patron.
We don't really want to piss off the Poison Kiss.
Yeah,
I personally.
So the idea of contacting her, saying
Not
we're
in,
looking for some
not in
work.
question.
She's
Not in question right now. The thing is, although personally I don't want to take guns from the army or the, well, law enforcement, but if we can find out where or who was funding the acid red, we can always go after them and take their money. Or maybe the Laughing Coffin has, I don't know, competition which we can attack.
Mm-hmm. So to summarize, we are pretty. We will make our next batch of money by delivering guns to the wardens. Yes or no?
I think that's one of the avenues we want to take. I like the idea of finding out who the hell was funding the acid riot.
And replace acid riot in his books, or
Or we appropriate whatever the hell he was doing. Simple.
so you want to take out the noble funders? That's what you're getting at.
We don't know
If it is a noble, that's going to be a lot of money, and it's going to go quite well towards our funding.
Yeah, I don't.
From what I've seen, the
some-
nobles aren't exactly the best on this world.
I somehow doubt we are in a position to take on a noble.
Oh no, not yet.
Yeah.
It's a slow build.
If we can find who they are, they covered their tracks quite well, did they not?
Well, we technically never figured out who that fake Inquisitor was, so
It's true.
I thought out of character. I thought the other guy told us.
No.
The untouchable guy.
it did?
Not that
I think he told us his name was Mr. Blue.
Oh. Then we just have to
That is
find out who.
correct.
Then we just have to find out who the hell Mr. Blue was.
Casper.
Hey.
Darius is correct.
Yeah. No, he's one of the guys who works with Mr. Black, if I remember correctly. So we technically pissed off his group, possibly, potentially.
Well, I don't truly believe the Jealous Grave would be pissed off at us. It was literally just business, and that's their entire model, isn't it?
I want to look at Mordecai real quick. Speaking of this, did you ever sign up for that gene sniffer thing? Or did you just give him a comm bead?
I gave him a comm bead because
Okay.
not terribly comfortable with someone having that much information about me.
You're afraid of for your genes?
They might get stolen.
Yeah, you should be. Those that steal them are pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Wait, people steal genes?
Not people.
Not people.
What?
I'm looking at Jenny at this. Is like, you. What?
Hmm?
Mordecai sound very concerned. How? What?
No, don't think about it.
I'm looking at Jenny. Like, how the fuck do you know?
Mm.
Telling someone to not think about it is the worst way to help them to not think about it. It's like taking someone somewhere up
Shush,
high
don't
and
think
telling
about
them don't look down. Or say don't think about a purple elephant. Suddenly it's all you can think about.
Don't fucking think
Why
about
is
it.
yellow and purple? What is
What
an
is an elephant?
elephant? Sorry, no. What the fuck's an elephant?
It's a thing from my home world. Explain what is a what sort of thing can still
Listen,
seeds?
it's a long story, and I don't want to exactly get into it because it's a long
Classified.
yeah. Regardless, just maybe I'll tell you another day. But for now, don't let anything steal your jeans. And I don't mean the ones you're wearing.
I'm worried enough about things stealing my soul, but okay.
Liliana moves, shifts on the table, looks straight at you, and like, what?
We really are just a big old fucking group of bumbling idiots, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Took you this long to realize?
No, I just like to reaffirm it every time. I believe I have said this multiple times on
I
multiple
love you
occasions.
guys.
I love you guys when
Right.
you're not insulting my cooking.
Liliana looks at Jenny. Jenny, are you feeling unwell? I think it's the first time you ever showed emotion.
And clearly you've not been paying attention.
Perhaps.
If you needed to show emotion, just say the E word.
Anyway, back on topic. Plans. Send out gang members to scout for low lives and shit. Appropriate and find out enough about them to appropriate their gear. While we do what? Or do we do something else with them or what? Because we do have these assets we should be able to use. Think of them like scouting teams or mini meat shields.
Well,
You
if
know-
we could find a job to do, keep us busy while we wait for our mini meat shields, as you put it, to come back to us.
I don't quite like that word. Even though they're disposable, I don't think that's the correct term to call them. Just call them something else.
I'm sorry, who are we disposing of now? I spaced out.
Call them acids, not mini meat shields.
I mean, this was the guard that said it first. I assume that was the correct term. But
Okay.
just
So, with a good discussion under your belts, the hour has got late. The servitor has been making like snacks for you, what you would like. Then Mordecai steps in. He's like, "Oh, out of my way, peasant." You head off to bed. The next day comes up. You can all have your breakfast as we skip 10 whole days. 10
Okay,
whole
time to
days.
fuck up Albie's rifle considerably.
Okay,
I was going to
So-
roll for crack and I realized I don't actually have to in this guy.
we are
Not
currently on the 29th. Technically, we're going to skip 11 days. Because I wasn't sure if you guys were going to do anything today. But you didn't really come up with anything much. So, to start off with, Jenny, you can make your roll to repair.
Be advised, my roll 20 is really my internet is still
You
pretty
have
bad.
fixed the gun. So the gun is...
Did
it is
I?
trade armor.
Oh.
You got 66. Target
Yeah,
70.
it hasn't showed me the result yet, so I was like.
So the trigger has been put back to how it should be. It does not have a custom grip on it, but it is repaired. Do you want to...
back to custom gripping.
Okay. Give me another roll then, please.
yeah.
The moment of truth.
Hey, there we go. Finally, after the Omnisire only knows how many attempts and days, it is finished. And with 5 degrees of success,
How
you've
many?
got it just...
How
oh,
many? How many attempts of me trying to put this code backwards?
13. I've been counting.
Yes, 13. Perfect number, yes,
At some point, I just emerged from my room. Here you go, fixed.
You, Jim. Do you mind if I come with something else too, or do you want to take some rest?
Nah, I have nothing else to do. Gimme.
Give me that shit.
It was more like if I've got something else to do. I mean, not at the moment right now because I'm saving up for the big fee coming up.
So, first day is down as Jenny gets to work, and by about Namit time, about 11 o'clock, she comes out with a fixed gun. For those of you who gave orders to your men, they do go about their search. I tell you what, let's do it with you guys. So, whoever wants to give your men an order, roll a 1d100. Each 1d100 will be a day. So if 3 of you are giving them orders, that will be 3 days worth of 1d100s. And that will just show how well they actually do their job whilst they're about. Well, not bloody well to start with. Okay.
I'll be your ban from rolling again.
Okay.
Roll too many hundreds.
This is fine. So, we'll actually do this a little bit.
Wow.
We'll do this a little bit longer. No, we'll give them a roll. So, we'll do this for the full 10 days, 11 days rather. So, you set your gang out, and the first day they just don't seem to take to your orders very well. They're kind of like, well, let's say we're looking around, and you kind of look out the window. You look out the window and you can see them like dossing around on the street corners, sharing low sticks and maybe a bit of low on its own. You quickly whip them into shape and give them a dressing down, and they set about their work. So the first couple of days are a bit of a letdown where they're not doing much, but then the next couple of days they do locate a couple of smaller gangs that are setting up. They don't really need your help to deal with them if they all go. They think they can deal with the 2 groups on their own. Do you allow that, or do you want to oversee them?
I would like to see any fights.
Okay. So you can go with one group,
As well.
and Darius with another. Okay, so the 2 groups set out. So there's only 2 there's only 2 gangs. I only need 1 overseer for each one, because this is a gang event. I'm not spending too much time on this. So with an overseer each, you get shown to where these 2 gangs are located, and in one group there's 5, in another group there's 7. They overestimated their numbers completely. So in actual fact, you don't have 30, you have 22. So you have 2 groups of 11 each. You have 5 fighters, and you have 6 shooters in each group. Now we'll swap that around. You've got 6 fighters, because fighters will go down quicker. So they will start. They will get a +10 for you guys being there, and a +20 for their size. So a +30 for the melee group, another +30 for the other melee group, and then a +30 on the ballistic group. And we'll see how well they do. So, they dossed about the first day. That's Albie's role. The second role, Liliana's, they found a group. The third role, they got into position, Darius's role. So with your 2 roles, with the getting into position role, they were able to surprise the gang. So the first group of melee fighters, controlled by we'll say Darius. They charge in and fail, doing absolutely nothing. However,
right.
the ballistics team that comes up afterwards does indeed land their hits, and with the first round, they drop a decent number of them. Over with Ezio's team, your melee group just charges in, and they take down a decent group before your ballistic team opens up firing, and another group is taken down. So you get 4 on that one, and then you get 3 on that one. So Ezio's team has reduced their group to 0, whereas Darius's team needs to go through one more round. Whoever's moving the sheet, please don't for a moment, as I'm going to take control.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. As the second round goes off, we're going to say that the attackers get the first action. And the melee group is still just not doing well at all. And the ballistic group fails as well. We're going to go over to the gang. I want the Acid Riot. And we're going to give them the goons. So the goons are going to make their attack. They get a +10 to their weapon skill. And they get a +10 to their ballistic skill. Did that go through? I went a little bit quick. It did. I heard it.
Wow, they got 2 11s for both of them.
They're good.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay.
Need to buy them an extra beer.
So Darius, you see that your
That's
group.
the enemy. Ezio.
Yeah, Darius, you see your group. Just the melee team just did not see the guys like resting in the corners as they spring out and actually deal some damage. Jenny will have to roll for some wounded. And as their ballistic team opens up and fires, your ballistic team takes some damage as well. So
Alright.
you only get a... Nope, sorry, these are goons. Although their numbers are quite close. But I suppose those extra few digits do
Extra
count when
goons.
they're... No, the extra digits. Because your group have got 30s, whereas the goons have had a life of drugs and abuse. So they've got a bit less. So your group only gets a +20 now, because they have taken losses. So they lost a 10. But with that, the melee group have got their shit together. So let me just double check. So you had got 4 degrees, and then you've done some really shit rolls. I believe with that, the melee group actually sweeps up the rest of the goons. So,
Okay.
you have taken 4 casualties? No, it wouldn't be 4. Yeah, 4 casualties, because it's +1. So, no, 2. You've taken 6 casualties to your 11, Darius. So,
Okay.
you, in total, your 2 groups killed 11 men. Can each of you two roll me a 1d100 to see what kind of equipment they had?
Oh, now I get the shit roll. There we go.
These are first rolls.
So, Ezio,
Rip.
your group finds 7
Good point.
Ripper clips. Sorry, Ripper guns. No, yeah, Ripper clips.
Yeah, fuck.
Whereas Darius, your group only finds 6 for Ezio. So 6 guns for Ezio and 6 clubs for Darius. As it appears as if their shooters were using mercy killers.
Can we add the loot to the Tangan or something?
You can add the weapons wherever you like. So you've got 6 Ripper guns and 5 clubs. You can add that.
I would say put it in gear, not journal. I could do this.
I mean, it is loot. That's why I put it in journal.
There you go.
So-
6
Jenny,
river.
can I get from you? It'd be 8 altogether.
5 clubs.
5 clubs.
It
Was it
would
5 or
be
6
8.
clubs?
5 clubs, 6 guns.
So
Can I get 2?
I'm guessing armorers.
No. Can I get 2 medical tests? Because you have 6 wounded men that need treatment.
Okay.
So I'd like
Medical
2.
intelligence, I assume.
Yes, you don't need to. You don't need to perception these. These are. You can see that these are just wounds from general combat. So for your degrees of success will depend on how many people you save. This is quite simple. It's not a hard test. So
I saved them all.
the melee. No, I'll need 2 rolls,
I know,
please.
I know.
But you could have actually done it. I thought to myself, probably can't get 8 degrees of success, but you would have done. So the melee group is all
May
patched
lose
up.
one. It's natural selection.
And then let's see how the ballistic group do. You only need 3 degrees, so. Is another one coming through?
You said 2, right?
I've only got 1 so far.
Oh my god, is it doing it again?
What's
Feel
the
like it
number
might
on your side? Because I've got the 17.
Rolled 81 on the target 102.
Okay, and 81. So that gives you 3 degrees of success. Because you go up to 100, and then you get 1 for succeeding. So that gives you the 3 degrees of success. So in fact, although it was a little bit close, all 6 of your units are fit and healthy again. Well, they'll may need a couple of days. Would anyone else like to do anything with your 10 days?
Searching for my picked recorder.
Okay, can you give me Inquiry Fellowship with a -30?
Oh, this is not gonna go well.
Can I help him by any chance?
Oh!
You can, but you are.
Oh, you almost
Wow.
got it though.
You can, but remember you are. Oh no, you're not on a mission. So yes, you can help.
I was on mission at the start and not afterwards. So...
Yeah, no, you assisted with the rolls. Once they went out, they had found their target. They only needed 2 people. So basically, you're helping Mordecai after the 2 groups have left. So all your men have left the club as you're like, well, let's go and go shopping.
Inquiry minus how much? 30?
Yep.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
Okay, so at least one of the days of your searching is just you can't find it. Would you like to give me another one?
Yeah. I mean, it can't go wrong, right?
No, it can't.
Well, I don't suppose I have a spare day.
No, unfortunately, Ezio, you are working with your
Fighting.
units at the moment.
Worry not,
So-
my boy. I got you.
Fortunately, after perhaps asking, because also in this week, Tiffany would return. She was only gone for like a couple of days. So you kind of asked Tiffany if she knows anyone. So she can assist you slightly and put you in the right direction. And you find a pick recorder who specialises in taking dramatic, erotic photos for calendars and such things.
Perfect.
And with a bit of chatting with the shopkeeper or the photographer, he tells you where he gets his
Quote
stuff done.
unquote photographer.
And you go there and you can essentially buy a pick recorder. I could not for the life of me find the actual price for them.
It's 100.
See, I was going to say
Can I-
100 and going up, if you go for best quality, it will be like the type of pic recorders that you can get holographic photos with.
How much would that cost?
A hololithic pic recorder, 1,000 thrones.
Yeah, I'd be going for best quality one because I want to get all the detail next time we go down there.
So I will point out the
You want the good
holographic
stuff for the booty shots, you know.
holographic in 40K is not the best detail. It will give you the best looking photos, but if you want the best detailed photos, you don't want the holographic one. You actually want to get just one that gives you, for wildlife and basically the normal type of camera that you would use for taking close-up photos of ruins and things.
Tell you what, Waldo. Tell you what, Monica, I get the holographic one. I'll get the just a good quality one.
So get a best and a good.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much would a good be?
300.
500? 300. Okay.
Okay.
I will minus that from my money.
So I currently have in my pocket good quality pic recorder.
No. So the good quality. No, the best quality one, but holographic because it will make a difference. But yeah, for the good quality one, just good quality.
Yep, I did that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, was there anything else you guys wanted to buy or try to look up or try to talk to, send messages, anything like that?
Not that I could think of.
Honestly, Lillian is just going to be smoking and making sure that the missions are going okay on the background. But I don't think there's anything you can do. So
11 days pass. We come up to the 60th of 0988. Sorry, why did I say 0? 60.988.m41. As you sit about, kind of relaxing, you've gone on your mission. Your men have been injured, so they need some downtime. Maybe you're doing a little bit of training or so on. Tiffany's back in the club and has been for a few days now. Just casually watching the pick feed as perhaps Mordecai is preparing breakfast, perhaps the servitor is preparing breakfast. When all of a sudden, an advert comes on, a new advert. Tiffany doesn't flick over. This is not the exact same shit that's recorded and played over and over again. And you would overhear. Are you looking for adventure? Fed up with your bored hive life? Do you want to see the stars? If your loins call you for greater things, then join the Emperor's Profiteer today. We are docking at the mouth moves, and then you hear the word, oh shit, what's the planet called again? It's not Agrafria. Agrafria is
Aquafreya?
no, Agrafria is the hive
the
city. The world is subsector. It is Mottengard. No, Mottengard's a subsector.
Mottengard, yeah.
Santa
But it's
Fe.
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe. So his lips keep moving, and you just hear the words Santa Fe overseeded on the video. And there's like this really cheesy like pic recording of this quite high tech actually rogue trader sprint trader. So it's a luxury good, high speed, low cargo variant.
Hey Darius, come over here. Humperdinck's on TV.
You have no idea who Humperdinck is.
Wait, what?
Where's his name?
Probably a mechanicus thing.
Humperdinck.
Oh, there
an
it
odd
is.
name for a
There it
penis.
is. As the like the pic recording of like it's now showing you like men in corridors like crew ratings who are all like doing an Imperial Quilla. I serve for the adventure. I serve to see the world, to see the universe. I serve for the Aquila. And then it goes off, and it would go back onto like a few of the crew, a few of the officer crews, you know, going,
I
I'm
mentioned certainly beats the Imperial Guards adverts.
I'm I'm Explorator Tech Priest Menace, and I look after this. And it goes to the great engines of the to try and get the Tech Priests into it. And it goes back to the captain sat on his command console, just looking nobly at probably some point in the ceiling. As it turns, the pick feed comes down. He turns. I, the Honourable Rogue Trader Jack Briston von Ross, am here today for you. He points to the pick feed as the screen fades to black, and it says, "Join up at your nearest recruitment." Oh shit! What did I? Where's his name? Oh, recruitment department officer office. And then it just has like again implanted in a much like you can tell this has been added on to the this particular cut of the video. It would be Hive City, Aquafria, middle hive, floor, and it gives an abstract floor, which you know isn't too far from here, given the numbers that were given.
Is it
And
bad
then
of me that I kind of want to drop all that we're doing and sign on?
No,
I
I want to do
mean-
the same too.
I'm
I'm
also
pretty
very
sure.
tempted.
Lillian is just
pretty sure the
gonna
Inquisitor threatened to kill us if we did that.
Lillian is just gonna be smoking a little
Say.
stick and say, "I'm pretty sure that's a bad idea." So yes, I think that's a
Yeah,
bad
the
idea.
boss
We
would
have a
probably...
contact with them, though. Don't forget.
Say, what was the exact wording of our assignment?
Wait, he didn't
That's
say
not
that we
Aldi.
had to stay on world.
No, he didn't.
Probably wouldn't be back in time to hand over the...
I mean,
I
we
would
could
not
go
recommend
and
a lawyer an Inquisitor. That's
Listen,
one thing. Same way you wouldn't lawyer a commissar.
He didn't say the I word. That's just your imagination, Tiffany. Ignore it.
I what?
Oh, I didn't realize. I was actually away. I didn't realize Tiffany was there. So
I
I
assume you
wouldn't have. I
understand.
would not have actually said that in front of her.
Ooh. The power that this little snippet
I did
holds.
ask someone to catch me up, but no one did. So
No, it's okay. It's
Rest
alright.
you.
We'll strip that.
well,
I'm
we
gonna
could,
say the I word. It's secret. You cannot say the I word.
well, we could at least go and inquire if he's just going around. Like we know there's some other parts of the system we could salvage. If he's going there,
I don't.
I mean, if you
I may
say
know-
in system,
I may not know a lot about rogue traders, but I don't think they're settled for in system.
Lillian just
we
stops.
could blow up the warp reactor. Maybe
Yeah,
force him to stay here.
Lillian takes a long drag from her low stick. She stops and thinks. First of all, wasn't there a contact that was going to eventually arrive in this world that we had to speak to?
yes, I think
Yes.
there was.
Oh wait, yeah. So it was. So there was.
Do
No.
any of you know his name?
I'm just.
No.
Jenny's just gonna
Did
quickly
you
scroll
ask?
through her data slate.
I'm gonna go do the same thing on my data slate because I'm pretty sure he may
Yeah.
actually
Now that you
connect with
mention
us.
it, I think
Yeah.
there was someone.
There was someone, but I can't. To my data slate as well.
I also go to my data slate.
Everyone suddenly buried. Tiffany must be so confused right now. Everybody is just essentially suddenly buried in their tablets. Like,
So, from Tiffany's point of view, she sat watching the pick feed and seen a cool advert come on, and maybe she's muttering to herself, sipping on her recap, as you guys were all like, "Wow, yeah, maybe we should join up. Like, should we just drop everything? It sounds quite good, doesn't it? Don't we have?"
I mean, the Eastern Front.
And then just all these data slates come out
The
and just start
uncharted
scrolling
regions.
through.
Because
Wait,
here's the
what?
thing.
What's
Tiffany
going on?
knows, at least why.
Why are you
Tiffany-
all so? You've
Tiffany-
gone very quiet and.
I'm easily distracted. Okay.
Tiffany,
Ah,
you
you're
do
weird.
know.
Sips on coffee.
Don't worry. I can still perform a hard bypass essentially from memory.
What now?
Yeah, that's all muscle memory
Wait, what?
for the most part.
Hard bypass? What?
What's muscle memory?
My
Yeah,
cooking's
so-
not that bad. Jesus.
We're not
Who is
talking about
Jesus?
your cooking. Not
I
everything
wasn't
is about your cooking.
implying anything about your cooking.
I'm more interested in this Jesus fellow. Who is he? Is he a heretic?
Jesus, fellow.
He was my teacher a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I think you mean Jesus.
Wait, was he the one who could walk on water?
That
There's a
sounds
twist.
terribly close
That
to something
sounds
Mike would
like.
do.
That sounds like the Emperor.
Sounds like anti-gravitic technology, if you ask me.
Sounds like a
that-
fucking twist!
It does sound like a maglev coil, doesn't it?
I don't think water's
Time
magnetic.
traveler.
I don't think you need to be a tech priest to work that out.
I mean, there are
Hey,
ions
look,
in
look.
water.
The description of maglev coil literally says you can levitate.
So, did you guys find in your data slates if this is the
Funny
person
you
that
should
you're
ask
that you're
um,
looking for?
I don't know where my data slate notes are.
Malcolm
I don't
Ganail is the press ganger
Ganil.
contact. Ganil.
me.
You
Well,
have no
sounds
idea if
French.
that's the person who's at this recruiting office that you've been given the. You do know
Does
the ship's
anyone
name.
remember the name Malcolm? Malcolm Ganai?
Yeah, Malcolm Ganail. That's the press ganger contact.
Yeah.
And then we'll stop and say, if he's not someone that is actually related to, well, how we got here and how we can, have. It's not one of our contacts from outside of this world. We can technically just go steal guns from this rogue trader because he does seem to be, well, how do I say, off.
That's still nobility.
True, so was I. Well, I am technically still one, but
Yeah, but
details.
you're kind of a bit more.
Also,
local,
not.
small
Also,
time, no
the drug
offense.
trader probably has a couple of thousand men ready to fight.
Plus that, yeah.
It takes a lot of
Fine.
people on one of those cruisers or frigates.
You sound as if you've never been on a navy vessel before. There's armsmen and deckhands all over the place.
We could infiltrate, true, but to get to the good stuff,
You do realize that once I set foot aboard that vessel, I would be very unlikely to actually, step out.
Can I get a intelligence test from the party, everyone? With actually that's quite apt. It's the 60th day of this imperial calendar year, a -60.
There's nothing
I
that can give me
literally
a bonus.
cannot make that.
Natural 5s always for these types of tests.
Oh,
Marksman doesn't give me a bonus, does it?
No.
No.
Fucking 91.
I would have made that
No.
without the negative.
You're time skipping, right?
The good luck. Yeah. We've skipped
Does
11
that
days.
mean the fate refreshed, or
Oh, yeah.
am I using the
Yeah.
systems again?
No.
I'm just gonna spend one.
Because it's such a big time skip, and you could have done projects in that time. We've passed it now, so that was the time to try and do research and big projects. Your fate would refresh completely. So no, that was a cool advert. That was a cool advert. You know, you're meant to meet someone called Michael Ganale, but cool advert.
It's Michael.
Malcolm.
Like in the middle.
I know it was a long time ago that these notes were taken for you guys. But yeah, it was Malcolm Ganale.
I have it written down.
Malcolm's a press ganger.
I'm just gonna look
Press
at
gangers are generally middlemen.
This is from my
Malcolm
notes exactly.
I'm just gonna look at Liliana, then at Mordecai, and I'm like, do you think they would find me if I actually left with the rogue trader for like the Eastern Fringe, or maybe the
I
Uncharted
mean,
Regions?
not immediately, but maybe after the year of 2030.
Liliana's gonna basically massage her temple a little bit and say, "You see, my dear Jenny, you're technically contracted to help me and keep me safe, but I don't know. Perhaps my family may end up finding you and getting you for, jumping ship, but I can't say that for sure."
Well,
like I said,
technically, I am not jumping ship. I am enlisting onto a ship. There is
There is no
ship to jump
desertion
from.
in this army.
Let's put it this way.
We're not an army.
If I find you, I'd gut you. If they find you, they'd do worse.
You seen what you seen what he did to a group of children. So,
Liliana's gonna
Wow.
face palm. I say, that's too soon, Darius, and that's not something we joke about.
Excessive?
I just give Darius like dagger eyes. Like,
I'm looking at Mordecai and go. Dark humor is a good coping mechanism. Trust me.
Yeah. I really should have written the guard jokes down.
Okay? It's not my fault.
And again, I am technically still in hiding. I still don't know anything about my family, but I do know that it's not a good idea to leave. Let's put it like that. We've been through far too much to do something that reckless at this juncture.
Oh, come on. In and out, like 5 decades. Quick adventure.
I mean, I feel like we should at least inform ourselves of the people.
I feel like.
I mean, I
That
don't
makes-
think the Inquisitor would particularly care.
Quarter of a century. Quarter of a century.
Okay.
Where we give them the money.
I'm going to hush Ezio and make sure Tiffany didn't hear that.
I just said where they get the money. I did not say that.
You literally just said Inquisitor.
Yeah, you did.
Did I? Oops.
Yes.
Sorry.
I just look at Jenny and say, "Well, it seems like the AdMech can't be trusted nowadays." Then
I can be trusted. I just have desires,
You know, Jenny, even though you have those big dreams, I thought you were more logical.
Logic is not against ambitions.
It technically is illogical to put your life at risk for a fantasy.
Tell that to everyone involved in the quest for knowledge.
Takes a drag of her low stick. Looks at you.
I think we should talk about this another time. In the meantime, maybe we should actually go there, check out to see if Malcolm's there. There's no Malcolm. We wait for the next one.
I mean, that cruiser has.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Sorry about that.
Cruiser has what? The crew of 10,000, 20,000, and there could be a lot of people named Malcolm on that ship.
We're specifically looking for a press ganger. You know, the guy that puts people in place. He's going to be an NCO at most.
I have a feeling they wouldn't put a press ganger in a recruitment office.
That's literally their job.
Yeah. It's just a Navy term for recruiter, basically. I mean, I'm sure some of my people were approached by press gangers when ships, but
Okay, so out of character, am I just misunderstanding press ganging?
So
yeah.
So the recruitment office.
The way I understood it is just they like round a bunch of guys and just throw them on the ship. Like
Yes, that's that.
One.
So the recruitment office opens up, and then the recruiters there go round and they'll give out like flyers, come to our ship, blah de blah. And then when their captain says, "Well, how many men have you got? You haven't got enough. We're leaving. Go grab them." Those recruitment officers become press gangers, and they're like, "Right, walk into a bar. Okay. You, and you, come with me. You're not coming, Kosh. Now you're coming." And that's when they take them off. So it's a very fine line between when they become recruitment officers and press gangers.
There's very little difference.
And that's the same for the Imperial Guard as well.
Yeah. Oh, I do have a Kosh. Sweet. Fun fact, Koshes are very fun. As long as you surprise the enemy, you don't do wounds, you do fatigue damage.
Fatigue, yeah.
I'm gonna be right back.
Sure.
So I'm guessing that was kind of the general consensus from the group, was to go and at least check out this press ganger, to go and see if he was the person that you're meant to be meeting or not. Was I about right there?
I think so. Ezio? Jas and Jim are currently unavailable. So.
I'm here.
Oh, no, I mean, do you agree with that? Because if you do, we have the majority.
Oh, democracy. Yeah, I agree. Go inquire. I was always a proponent of inquiring.
So you guys finish up your breakfast. You will each pay... You're technically still on this level, so it's probably only 10 thrones for express access, like on the high-speed rails and stuff like that.
How much would the normal access be?
So the normal one's free, but it's just this mundane, slow drudgery. Like a normal Imperial citizen can't afford the express pass.
It's the default kind of movement, so it's going to take like 24 hours or something to get to where we want to go.
It won't take that long, but it will 1/3. Sorry, you only travel for 1/3 of the time. So if it's 3 hours by normal travel, it's an hour with the express. But you're not having to go down through different levels this time. It's all in the middle hive, so it's only 10 thrones.
Yeah. Plus, let's be honest, it's 10 thrones. If we fail by 10 thrones, we're going to fail by a lot more than that.
Yeah. So essentially remove 10 thrones from each of you. As someone wrote down the number, or you just sit in long enough to see the advert play again. And it does play a fair few times throughout the day. But about half an hour later, after finishing breakfast, the advert plays again. You note down the hive, the number, and you're like, okay, well, it's a couple of thousand higher than this number, but it's still in the same, like, the hives they'd be set up really freaking weirdly, but essentially, you need to go straight up and then to the left, and then you think you should be around the right numbers there, so it would have taken you 3 hours. It actually takes you an hour because you've all paid for the express. So after an hour, you get to the right area, and it doesn't take you too long to actually find the recruitment office, because there actually seems to be a line. a line of citizens queuing up to go in. There's so much of a line, in fact, that the recruitment officers have put out a sign that says, like, general worker, labourer, ship rating, and trained individual, any skills. And the one with just like people who have no skills is just, it's so long. It's like wrapping round the building, which again, so you've spent another 10, 11 days. The recruiting for the founding, the new guard regiment, doesn't seem to have gone all that well. Whilst the press ganging for the recruiting for the new guard regiment hasn't got to like severe riots levels yet. There have been multiple small riots in the Underhive. There have been a couple of small riots in the Middle Hive. Nothing. No, there would have been a small riot in the Upper Hive as well. Nothing too extreme. They didn't have to bring in any sanctions. But it's definitely there's unease about this new regiment. But you can see the recruitment office. You can see the recruiters for the regiment like going up to people in the queue for like labourers, like, join the guard regiment, and they're like, well,
They're trying to poach.
I'm going off world. I think the stars are calling me. The Emperor wants me to go to the heavens, you know.
I'm just gonna look at that and I'm like, I think I know which queue I'm taking.
I will also take the skilled queue.
Just so I
Also,
know,
I would have my Mechanicus robes on for this because this is a fancy occasion.
just so I know, we are all going to the
Recruitment.
road tradership, right?
The
And
recruitment
not only
office.
that is, did Tiffany come with us? Yes or no?
That's up to you.
I don't think we. I mean,
Hey,
Yes,
Tiffany,
we'll
do you
decide
want to
her
go
on as
see
an
the
unskilled
store?
labourer.
If you don't want her to come, then she's quite happy doing her own thing.
no, I'll just ask if she wants to come. She doesn't want to. I'm not gonna push it.
Not gonna kidnap.
I mean,
another
if you
girlfriend.
ask, you see, now here's where you've made a bit of a, because you've
I
asked.
know the
She's like,
problem.
oh, well, I'd love to see what it's all about. That advert was so enthralling. I could almost see myself in the stars, but at the same time, you know, it's so leaving your world behind. So no, she's now excitedly going along for the going along.
Like fourth planet.
Out of character,
I mean-
this rogue trader either has a really good propaganda team or his seneschal's a watercast.
The fuck's all
Watercast,
about?
really?
Oh, the ultimate
That's a towel.
fucking bait
That's a
and
towel.
switch. The ultimate
Watercast. I
That's
don't
a
get
towel.
it.
bait. How
They're the diplomats for the tower.
Tau diplomats, yeah.
Oh, that kind of cost.
I actually fucking love that idea now.
So as you make your
We
way
need to play
in,
more Rogue Trader.
it's all right.
Ooh.
It's in the works.
Spoiler.
Oh,
As
Oh, look!
was it?
Happy recruits!
as we
Spoiler
make
alert.
as we make our way towards the building, you basically all go with skilled. You see the queue for the unskilled, and you even just pull Tiffany along and just follow along. You go into the skilled lane, and you can see that there's a number of basically interview rooms where people are just coming in and going out, and they're being led out through a different entrance, one that seems to take them underground and then out, so that the people who are queuing up aren't bumped. They don't see like loads of rejections or loads of people like not. It's just like the people go in, but they're not coming out. Maybe they're taking everyone. It keeps the spirits high. But yeah, a lot of the labourers, they seem to only be taking the really good ones. and there's a lot of disappointed faces. As like you can see all these like, again, these are middle hive manufactorum workers who have just had a life of misery and shit, and it tells. You know, they're weak, feeble. I just want to see the stars, and the recruiters are just like, just by the throne, fuck off and die at your station, will you? It's like, oh, bother, just making their way. It was a good advert.
I'm bent here.
So,
You know.
the
Secretly, Leona
So-
longs for the stars.
So you make your way through the group. You're just like pulling Tiffany along and making your way down the corridor, and it starts opening up to more holding cell. Like you can see people are waiting. And they're excited talking. The door is open, but they've obviously been told, look, don't clog up the hallways. Just sit here, wait. Food will be brought to you once we're ready to leave. Start taking people up. We'll have a ship come down for us. And this is where you kind of find yourselves walking in. There are a couple of areas where interviews are going on, and you can see a couple of ship ratings because they're in their ship's uniform. The captain's uniform for his crew, at least the dress uniform, is very much our modern day. Well, do English Navy? No, it's more of American Navy. So white with like gold trim, and then black parts on on where the buttons fold over, and it looks very smart and not very practical. But Jazina, can you turn your mic off, please? I just had it being thrown around the room.
That wasn't me.
Oh, is it not you?
Oh.
Oh,
I think that might have been Jim.
Pavu.
Alright, that was me. Sorry.
How dare I apologise, Jazina. That was it was a presumption, but sue me. Oh,
My cat was tapping on the bag. Sorry.
that's okay, dude. You can see some of these rating ship's crew who are basically directing you. They can see that you've come in and you haven't got a tag on you. They like direct you over. As you come through, they would probably... Is Gnail the only one who's doing this? He probably is, actually. No, he probably is. They'd point down and say, Gnail's room. He's dealing with any skilled workers. I give you the Imperial Aquila. Maybe slightly bastardized because they're from a ship. So their Aquila is done slightly differently, but still within Imperial standards.
It took me a whole day to get into his office, but I did.
So you knock on the door and, hey, come in. As you open the door, the team, although the team is not technically on the map, the team enters the room. You can see a quite handsome man.
Honestly, if I was alone here, I would legit have to roll willpower for Jenny not to actually sign on. Like, you can forget this inquisitorial nonsense. I'm going on an adventure.
You do realize that would be the worst thing you could do, right? Because this
Yes,
is literally
I
our
never
contact,
said-
not our character. It's like, oh, so you want to jump ship? Okay. Food processing.
So,
okay.
Look at this bright light here and let me know if you can see it.
There is actually as the gentleman turns round from behind his desk, he's about 6 foot, maybe a little bit over or under. He's got quite light brown hair. He just has the most gorgeous model-like features on his face, bright green eyes, a couple of scars from battle or fights. You're not quite sure. Maybe it was just a bar fight with a blade that caught his cheek, but it almost looks manufactured. That it's one of those scars that you're like, wow. Like, you would have looked good without that, but that has just cherry on the cake. And as he turns and smiles, brilliantly white teeth, and just the most gorgeous, smooth-sounding voice, unlike my own, comes out from his perfect lips. And well, welcome. I wasn't expecting so many of you, but well, take a seat if you can get one. Stand if you can't, I suppose.
Do
Tiffany
I
here
notice
with us?
any?
She probably is, isn't she?
Yes.
Why did you invite her along?
Tiffany is here.
This complicates matters.
Good point.
I
I shall add her on.
Do I notice any inquisitorial markings?
Oh no! Come on.
I mean, he's going to be
Oh.
kind of quiet about it. Also,
Sorry.
what?
Wrong one.
Spontaneous acid riot.
Poison kiss heavy. There we go. Poison kiss heavy. Ta-da-da!
You know, Tiffany needs her. Tiffany needs her own picture. At some point.
I'm struggling with space. I have 100 megabytes. I have 100 megabytes, and I've got a lot of custom stuff. So it's like I will try and
Hey,
get her a
Tiffany,
custom
can you look
one.
at that wall over there?
If you
Stabs her
pull
with a
in,
sleeping agent.
So
I don't think I should do that. I think
As
I'll
you
stay
all-
outside with it.
as
that
you
we
all
don't
come in,
crowd the place.
well, we're all in the room now. Well, it's good to see so many of you. I can see you, Tech Priest. Thank you so much for taking an interest. I'm sure we'll take you on board, given your rank. I just need to ask you a quick question. This is to all of you. What clearance level do you know of? What's the highest you know of?
Tiffany, go take a walk now.
We've already mentioned encryption level in front of her. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Was our
I
actual?
believe
The highest
Magenta,
you-
I believe.
I think
The
we were
highest you guys
yeah.
know of.
highest
we
we
are-
know of is
Vermilion.
Vermilion.
Vermilion wasn't.
So-
Why did I think it was magenta?
Because that's the second highest.
That's
Ah,
the
think,
Inquisitor's one.
Out of character, which one would we technically be?
You guys would be operating under magenta level. Hang on, let me just find it.
he asked us which one we.
There is
know.
a handout. There is a handout
Yeah.
that says.
Yep, I have it open.
Vermilion, the highest mythical. Magenta, second highest military
Yes.
encryption. Inquisitors was that.
My question is, would we even know of Vermilion?
You would know of Vermilion because this would be a part of. So, as inquisitorial agents, you know of Vermilion. The guard members here would definitely know of magenta because it's what the military use as their code for. So for you to know something above that means you know something, that you shouldn't know.
I will perk up and say, I do believe we all know Vermilion. She's an Omega, and I'm gonna
She's an
motion towards
Omega.
Tiffany.
Can I,
Yeah,
can I
she's
make
kind of a
sudden
tag
instance at this
along.
guy while he's asking this?
I mean,
Sure.
let's be
So hang on.
honest, she isn't
So I just need to clear up.
Tiffany's not
You
even
guys
an
have said the highest level clearance, correct?
Yes, and
Well, he asked us which is the highest we know.
Yes, but so you would know of one higher that anyone else would. If he said that to someone from the guard, they'd say magenta, and he'd go, okay.
Yep.
So you guys clearly have called yourselves out for something else. As you're
We
sweating,
indicate ourselves. Yeah.
as you're sweating,
wait,
Tiffany
okay,
shrugs.
Did he say his name to us?
No, he hasn't said. No, you've been told who he is by the people outside. You know that this is
So we know
Ganel's
he
office.
is. Okay, so if we know he's Ganel, then yeah, then even though this is probably reckless, I would say that.
Yeah.
So as you all say, yeah, well, we know it's this.
And
Tiffany
and I
just
will
gives a
say-
shrug.
And again, I think Omega is the one that everybody knows, right? Or does not even Omega would be known by a civilian?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
she's a civilian.
You
No,
would need
civilians
official
won't
job.
know.
If you're just a bumfuck civilian,
You don't have a
no.
fucking clue about this shit. She's never she's never seen the sun, Jim. Understand it. She's never seen the sky.
Okay,
A simple
can I-
adept
can I-
would know Omega. But
Can I retcon then and say she doesn't know?
No, she's already declared it, Jim. She's already like shrugging, like, what the fuck are you on
Oh,
about?
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to
Yes, we're
declare for her.
kidnapping
She's
her after all.
Yeah.
oh,
I mean, I
okay. Well, that's a bit of an odd one. But fair enough. So I would like to take you all in and do private interviews. I think would be best. However, I will have to say this is a bit of a disappointment, actually. To see that you would have done something like this, it just shows recklessness. But okay. Excuse me, miss. If you'd like to, well, we'll start with you. And he points to Liliana. For the rest of you, we have a recraft room. Go and wait in there, please. And I'll give her back to the group in just a moment. So you all fuck off and leave. This is going to be odd because I'm not doing this 5 times. I'm not going to do this 5 times. This is all happening at the same time, minus Tiffany. Tiffany gets a different interview altogether. So you can all
It's a
answer.
smash cut.
Yes, you can all answer, but do not answer off of each other. If someone's fucked up, then you guys don't know that they fucked up. Try not to metagame your answers. When he says a question, or when he says, try and just be like, this is what he would say. And if someone else fucks up, don't go, oh, well, I'm going to try and get them for it. You're not a group to do that kind of thing, but I will just put it out there. And I will be keeping an eye out. So, firstly, as you one at a time in the room, so why have you brought someone that doesn't know clearance?
was gonna say.
And
Ask the
if
one
we can
who's
answer,
sleeping
if we
with
can
her.
answer from the Soon Raccoon down, just so you know who's, when the questions are asked, just go, okay, so I'm after Darius or I'm after Jenny.
Yeah.
No, I just realised that if I don't put that rule in, it's just going to be
keeps it.
everyone. So
Yeah.
Lillian is going to sigh and say that is entirely my fault. We're currently together in this planet. She is someone I came to like, and I do hope we can eventually bring her into the fold. She believes that you're a contact from my background, which would be Axis, a rogue trader friendly company owned by the Pondsmiths, which is my fake background. I apologize for the inconvenience.
cool. Next person.
Okay. I believe Liliana brought her along. I didn't really know anything about it, to be quite honest. She's rather quiet, so I didn't really take too much notice. As far as I can remember, she's in a relationship with Liliana, so
Cool.
didn't expect her to come into the interview.
Jenny?
They're sleeping with each other. I cannot discern any other reasoning.
Mordecai?
They're sweet on each other. She got a soft spot for her.
And Ezio.
Liliana, I see her. I think she's planning to taking her along with our adventures.
Okay. So he will. Do you trust her? So this is just a yes/no from each of you. Liliana.
Jim?
Jim.
I was muted, wasn't I? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Liliana, she's going to take a pause for a few seconds and she's going to say, yes, but not entirely just yet.
Darius.
No.
Jenny,
She's a rival ganger. Maybe? Not really.
Mordecai,
She's seen me pretty. Oh, what the
What
fuck?
the fuck was that?
Jesus Christ.
Looks like
God,
Malcolm
Emperor.
left his patience.
Just
Gas
fucking.
explosion.
Uh,
He's got beans. He has actual beans on board. Holy crap!
Sorry.
fine. She's seen me do some pretty terrible things, and still socializes with at least one of us. Not sure whether she can be trusted, but she has her merits, and she hasn't ratted us out to the Arbites as little as she knows.
That's a very good yes/no answer there, laddie. We'll like you. Ezio, do you trust
No.
Tiffany? Cool.
No, I'm a bit doubtful of everyone.
So now the conversation will basically go to a general to all of you. So we managed to get here on time, which was nice. There were no problems with our transit here. The captain is more than happy to take you all up, minus your other friend for now. Unless you want her joining the crew. Yeah, you'll have to sort something out with that. But he'd be more than happy to have acolytes of the Inquisition to come up to his ship. It'd be an honor for him. We were meant to meet your Inquisitor here, but it appears as if his ship hasn't arrived yet. That's not unusual. We were told anywhere from now till another 3 months away, so we're going to be in orbit for at least 3 months. Maybe a bit longer. We'll see what the captain thinks. But he is interested in seeing you all. I wouldn't keep him waiting too long. There are other planets in this system, and whilst we'll stay in the sub, I can't guarantee that he'll stay directly above. Whatever, you know.
Alright.
Are we still in sequence, or?
You're technically be respectful. This is all one conversation. If you have any questions, no, we'll keep it in sequence just to make it.
Yeah.
So, Liliana, would you have anything to say back?
Sorry, the thunder kind of cut most of what you told me. So from what I get, I would just say, oh, it's okay, so long as we don't stay out for too long. I do, like I said before, eventually want to bring her into the fold, but for now, it's probably best not to.
And for Darius?
Yeah, that's alright. Liliana's not my problem. Or not Liliana, sorry.
Tiffany?
Tiffany's not my problem. It's Liliana's mate. So I don't really mind. Is there anything you can tell me about the captain? And I'll leave that until I can leave the information until everyone else is finished. That's
Sure.
right.
Jenny?
Well, we just kind of got this club, and we start making actual income. And also, there is something very much amiss in this hive. Oh, and the previous team had survivors. 2 of them, in fact. They're down in the lower hive.
Aye.
Make contact if you
so-
wish.
Answer Jenny's question. Partial information. Ceres Mantorus. She
Yes,
sent
and
a
the-
signal. She was given a signal to transmit, and then we had a partner signal. Once the 2 signals were given off, she made direct connection with us. So thank you for the information, but we've been made well aware. She is actually going to go up in the ship. I think tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, and there was this one guy who was trying to impersonate an Inquisitor, but he got shot by the servos.
He shrugs at that. More-
Again, something amiss here. That's definitely not just Ganger plays. Something
Mordecai,
there.
was there anything you'd like to ask him? Or,
How much is your captain aware of the abilities of our group?
oh, well, to be honest with you, we don't have a massive breakdown. We were hired by your Inquisitor, but we've only met him once, and he didn't really give us a detailed breakdown on all of his acolytes. But he did tell us that it'd be a variety. He told us to call the code words for each group, and which planets we were going to be picking up which acolytes from. We've already picked up 2 groups. They're on the ship. They've finished their work. They're recovering now, but they're not really in a state to be of much assistance to the captain. So he's basically just put them in recovery and let them rest. But yeah, your groups were given a different mission, and we were told that we should make contact with you in case you needed assistance. The other groups we were just told to pick up and bring to this location and await your Inquisitor's arrival.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Well, he would say he knows about. So people within the groups have gifts. They are psychically talented. He doesn't know which one of you is psychically gifted and which one isn't. If that helps.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. It was like, do they know we got psychers?
Yeah, well
'Cause
aware
that
of
could
the
cause issues.
psychers. Well aware of psychers being in the groups. Don't know who are the psychers.
Okay.
Ezio, was there anything you'd like to ask Ganael?
I was thinking of. I will just. So, you've mentioned that your captain won't be staying around forever. Do you have a certain window you can give us?
No, not really. Well, the captain's spontaneous. He's gonna stay in the sub, so you'll be able to message him through Astropathic. But he'll definitely be above the world for like 10 days, 20 days. But it's after that he gets a bit hot-footed. I'd say. Yeah, I'd say hot-footed. But again, it depends on what's happening here. This planet isn't exactly a metropolis for entertainment or mercantile goods, so he might go and have a look at the agri worlds, or I think there's a death world in system. I'm not a bridge officer, so I don't really get all the ins and outs, but I heard there's a few worlds in the system, so.
Mm-hmm. By the way, what's the pay like?
Well, pay is a bit of a difficult one. We get paid, but it's not anything special. It's the bonuses, the stuff on the side, the worlds and adventurer, and the backhand deals here and there. It's alright. Better than guard, I suppose. Well, a lot better than guard. And then he'll go on to you, Ezio, for at least a couple of minutes, just being. He definitely gives you the impression that he is ex-guard, which is why he knows so much about it. So, essentially, at this point, he'll end the conversation with each of you, and as you're back in a group, he'll say, "Well, look, we could probably take you all on, but to be fair, Missy, we'd need to have a bit more information. Backgrounds, where you came from." He's talking to Tiffany at the moment. If you can get us that, like hab codes and stuff, we'd be more than willing to take you up and see if we could find a place for you. But as for the rest of you, we could probably take you up and see if the officers in command of their designated positions would like to take you on. And I tell you what, sweeten the deal a little bit, because unfortunately this lovely world of yours, Missy, doesn't seem to have as many specialists as we'd like. So I will even pay for your travel up and down, at least for and he gestures to your party, not including Tiffany, until you get your hab codes and your date of birth certificates and things like that from the administratum. Things that an underhiver could never get legitimately. But Tiffany nods along. She's like, "Okay, no, this has been a fairly cool time." You would have noted, because obviously you're each coming out. All of your interviews go for about 15 minutes, give or take. Tiffany's went for half an hour. So he definitely told her some more stories and some more things about what would be needed from her that would more be a work related. Your ones was more, getting vital information and notes.
So work related.
Yes. But by all means, I'll be here. I'll be here for until the captain leaves, basically. But we have shuttles that will go up and down as cargo comes up and down. So drop in any time. You all would have been given a microbead contact for him, so you can get in contact with him for any reason that you might think that you can think of.
Someone is buffing.
So once you leave, because obviously you have to get rid of Tiffany now.
Oh, sorry, Tiffany.
Bang.
I mean, since Tiffany is basically has been denied, I will pull her to the side and say, "Tiffany, this is gonna be this is awkward. All four of us are coming or not, but can I ask you for a favor? I know your loyalty is still lie with the Poison Kiss, but can you please look after the club while we're away?"
I can do that, I suppose. We haven't really got much going on at the moment, but yeah, I can keep an eye out, I guess.
No one
Thank you,
says
Tiffany.
about this. What does she know about running a business?
She knows how to kick the shit out of people who get rowdy. Yeah.
I mean, it's a start, I suppose.
No.
I suppose none of us do know how to. Yeah, no, you'll be perfect.
We're not giving her the bar. She's going to hand it over the Poison Kiss.
I mean, that's obvious.
No,
but
they gave it to you, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we leave world. We leave it in the hands of someone in the Poison Kiss. They're going to take it back, and we get nothing.
No, don't worry about that. They are an ally. She's
I'm
pissed.
going to be-
She's pissed at you, but she's not that pissed in. Remember, your group did far more than what her group could have done with
Honestly, at this
maybe
point,
an eighth of the
more worried
numbers.
about-
You know what? There's another thing that you have to consider. At least this is what's going through Lydiana's mind right now. If she does betray us, that's the perfect loyalty test.
Yeah.
And then the Inquisitorial stormtroopers come up rolling at her door
Not technically the perfect loyalty test, but if she does betray us, somehow we will find out because that place is still bugged as all hell.
So essentially,
Also, we lost Waldo.
she will look after the bar until you get back. But she basically, in as sweet a way that a woman can do, but I'm not doing because we're on time constraints, she asks you for money. He's like, sure, I'll look after it, but I'll need some booze, I'll need some food. Now, maybe I want to get some makeup or, do my nails. Or so essentially, she wants some money.
Lili's just gonna... She's not gonna sigh, she's gonna smile and say, funny?
Wow,
Everything
okay.
there?"
She wants 98 thrones. It's not as much as you might think, because you guys are quite rich. But yeah, 1d100. She wants on 98.
I'm gonna look at Tiffany and say, Tiffany, you're pretty much the only person other than Jenny that has access to my room, and there is about 1,000 thrones on the third drawer under the you know what. You can
She
use
winks at you.
as much as you
I know
need.
what. No, she'll lean in, give you a kiss on the cheek, probably a kiss on the lips as well, as she gives you a hug and says, "I will see you as soon as you get back, and I'll protect the fort." As
You
she
do realize
fought.
you gave her more money than she has probably ever had in her life, right?
I'm gonna
She
take a
is
shot
she is a member of the Poison Kisses upper. Like, she's not right up there. Well, no, she is actually right up there. So she technically is a second, third in command of a gang. So yeah, she's had money, but 1,000 just plonked in front of her, probably not. And again, she's not going to take that
She gets to
much.
spend it on herself and not on the gang. Yeah.
Also, you do remember my room is fully stacked with stuff.
Yeah. Can you remove 98? Because that's how much she'll end up taking straight
Okay.
spending. She might not spend
I
all of it straight away, but I'm sure.
I took off 1,000 because that's how much it was in the drawer. But okay, I'm gonna take. How much that? Okay, there you go. Done.
Sorry, I can't remember if I've got given Tiffany an actual character sheet or if she's still using the heavy sheet. So I'm just noting it down on the heavy sheet. She may need money in at one point. I can say, oh, well, she's got half of this. So, a little nest egg that she's acquired off of Liliana. So, Tiffany gives you a wave, and as she's walking off into the distance, maybe another kiss goodbye as she veers off round the corner. And you guys can basically turn on a heel and march straight back in, straight past a long queue of people, over to Ganale and say, look, we want to go up now. Is that what the party wanted to do?
Yeah. Didn't want to keep the captain waiting.
Okay. You are whisked away. Although... the captain would. Although there are people waiting to go, not all of them are brought along. Really quickly, it seems like the ones who were registered and literally waiting to go, whereas some people have been chosen but not registered, have been taken, whisked away with you in a separate car. There's another group with you, but they're kept completely separate. You were taken in private cars. They're painted in the colour of the Rogue Trader, this white, gold, and black trim. But they're not like plush private vehicles. These are mass transports, and they basically take you to the shuttle port on this level, on the opposite side. So the map, it does have shuttle ports on both sides. It's just I was lazy. Although you can't see that map. But anyway, you were taken to the shuttle port, and you can see, sat down there is, again, another, would it be... No, it'd be an Argus lander. It'd have to be an Argus. This massive mass conveyance transport starship, basically, or star shuttle? No, starship. It's just not warp capable. This humongous ship that is just there for transport. But you are led away. The car basically drives up the ramp, parks up. You will get out. This has taken about 3 hours. No. We'll say 3 hours, but then it's halved because these are private transport and sped up. So an hour of you travelling to the port. Once on the ship, you guys are taken off and led up to the crew area, whereas the other people are just taken off and led into the passenger area. In the crew compartment, there are extra seats that have been laid out with no one in. Little bit plusher than the civilian ones. You're all told to sit down there. As half an hour goes by, you feel the rumble of the engines. It takes you around another half an hour to actually get space spawn and to get into position where you can, like, technically where the cabin light comes on and you can freely move around. There's a lot of negotiating because, again, there's a lot of orbital travel. So it's not just straight up and out. You have to go, okay, straight up, and then we've got to dodge that. Then we've got to dodge that transport ship. We've got to dodge that civilian craft. But roughly half an hour, you make it into space. You feel a slight weightlessness come over you. Although the Argus does have gravitic plates, they're not quite 1G. They're a little bit under, so you do feel that weightlessness in your stomach, that change. But sadly, it's going to take you another 2.5 hours for this Argus lander to bumble its way through the heavy space traffic that is now in orbit around Santa Fe. You do have windows, small ones in the crew area, and you guys can see out. Obviously there are blinds over them to stop you from getting blinded by the sun's rays, but as you look out, you are in space. You can just see the planet of Santa Fe if you crane your heads looking back. But more impressively is the spaceships around the city, the planet of Santa Fe. You wouldn't know the colours for the naval star group, the Ultramar naval star group. But there is 1/3. No, I think I said 1/5. There is 1/5 of the Ultramar Segmentum's naval fleet. Actually, no, Ultramar's is much larger. I think I had a problem with this before when I was calculating. I think it was 1/10 because I didn't write it down because I'm a dummy. I think in the books it was, yes, it's like 1/10, which is still 3 ships, I believe, of the Ultramar fleet. But so these are ships of the line. There are a number of military transport ships as well in orbit, stocking up, ready to take the new guard regiment when it's ready. This ultimately ends up in this planet just has ships, shuttles, transports just buzzing around it. This subsector does actually have an agri-world within it, so it is technically a self-sufficient subsector. So there are large transport ships that you can see warping into system, like you can just see at the very edge of just darkness, just tiny blips of light as another ship comes into the subsystem to deliver valuable grains and rations and supplies. Like I said, 2.5 hours you have just to look out the windows and see all these spaceships just buzzing around before you get to the Emperor's Profiteer, this grand Raigtroder sprint vessel. It is, as you come up, you can see most of it. You don't get the whole picture in one, but this ship has been... So all ships in 40k are kind of specially designed. They're all one-offs in a way, but then they're not. Each one's kind of unique, but they're all done to a certain pattern. This would be a normal fast sprint cargo vessel, but the outside has been sculpted to look like a blade. It's a silver, looks like a silver blade that cuts through space with gold. Essentially, the pummel of the sword, the guard of the sword on this particular blade in space is gold color, and then where the engines are turns to black. So he's crafted his ship very much to look like a sword cutting through space, and his colours have also been used on them. At the front, as you come round, you can see that the front of the ship has like a golden power ram, but the power ram has been made so that it carries on the blade, so it looks like how you'd see a Japanese katana, how the metal has two different colours that move in between it. It's a very unique one-off design ship. It's basically what I'm getting at. As you make dock, the crew basically come up to you and right, this way please, we'll take you first. And following the crew, you're not taken through like this cargo bay. Normally would be a hive of activity, and there are these big like cargo doors that lead into the ship. But there are also a couple of side doors, like one for maintenance equipment and tools and parts, and another that leads where you're going. This seems to be more of a personnel entrance. You guys are led through a couple of these personnel entrances. You get to a corridor, you get to a crossroads in the corridor, and the crew basically direct you in this maze. However, you would notice that you've gone on a couple of little lifts that have taken you up a few levels, and you've gone through a couple more corridors and up a few more lifts, and sadly another hour passes. This journey is becoming quite arduous, of you just walking through this maze of tunnels, corridors, and just this labyrinth, until you come to what clearly is a officer's waiting room. The decor of the hallways has changed. So far it's been like gunmetal, polished metal, just plain metal and utilitarian. But once you come up into this new corridor, you see that there's plush red carpets, there's wood paneling along the walls, and there's different Xenos animal species that have been hunted and placed on the walls as trophies. And you're led over to this officer's waiting room. Again, the doors on here are of on Earth like an oak, a really rich hardwood, but this is different. It's an alien, a Xenos species of fauna. Yeah. But anyway, you go in, and again, another plush. For what you've seen so far, in your experiences, this is probably the plushest room you've ever seen. Tiffany's office, Ceres's office in the club was probably the nicest you had seen to that point. This officer's waiting room is just wing-back chairs. There's a faux fireplace that actually has like a hologram fire in it. It has a heater that's pumping out warm air. There's what appears to be this weird spherical device that has like a longitude and latitude, and it looks like a planet. But have any of you seen a globe before? Yeah.
I mean, I'm from a research station, probably.
Okay, yeah, no. Jenny's like, oh no, that's a globe.
No.
That's a globe, you know.
I was gonna say I'm from a research world, so yeah.
Might have.
You're from the guard. You'll be lucky
common.
if you've. You're from the guard. You'll be lucky if you've seen a globe before. This is like a globe. You know, it's a big ass, like one of those antique ones that even in our world, you know, okay, you've seen it on TV in person.
Some sort of globe map.
Yeah, it is a map of a planet, but it's like it is a globe. So it's a spherical sphere that has a longitude and latitude. For most people in the Imperium, you haven't seen one of these. A deaf welder like you, I believe, is your. You know.
I'm not only a
I
psycho.
don't know what they use in the car, so that's why I asked. Like, I
I'm not only
think they would use it in HQ.
No, this is
They
again. This is something like this is like an antique. This is like the technology of globes. If you were a feudal welder, I'd be like, you have seen a globe. There's a good chance you've seen it because it's old technology. That unless you're an aristocrat, you're not going to bother. You'll have a data slate that shows you longitude and latitude, but it's on a mapped out grid, not, you know.
You would either have a hollow map or an actual map. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have globe anymore.
For me, I'm not only a Voidborn, I'm also a Psyker, so I definitely have never seen this.
So it's weird. It's just this crazy thing. And what's even weirder is that the crew member, like Chester, you know, please take a seat. If you'd like to read a book, there are books to be read. Would any of you like a drink? And they pull the fucking top of this thing, and you're just like, what is this? As it hinges over, and there are all these bottles of different Amasecs and fortified wines and liqueurs, and they immediately pour out a few shots, drop a berry into each one, and hand out these drinks. Can all of you please roll me your toughness? Liliana, you don't have to do this.
Yay!
You feel
Great, they're
this-
drugging us
this
now.
ship would probably be closer, like especially in the officers area where you are now, would definitely be far more Earth standard than anywhere else. But when you first came onto the ship, when you first came up into space, oh wow, now you're like, well, not all of you, but I can tell you that Ezio is definitely looking a little bit green and a little bit, whoa, the transit sickness. Yes.
Can you roll for me? I think my browser is having a fit.
Sure. I can do that.
Liliana, while the guy is taking the drink out of the half globe, Liliana will kneel down, look at it curiously like a kid, and then she'll get up and take a seat.
So, for it's only actually Jenny. It's only actually Jenny and Ezio who really the transit sickness. Oh, it really got to you this time. For Mordecai and Darius, oh, you definitely feel it, but it hasn't affected you. Like you can hold it down, whereas the other two have gone like they've gone very white, going towards green. As these drinks are handed out, you'd notice that the berry or the item that they dropped into the shot, it seems to be dissolving and like fizzing slightly, and it's by the time the last one is handed out, it's almost completely dissolved into it, but yet you can still see plant matter floating within the liquid. Does everyone take one? Does everyone drink it? Does anyone ask? Like, what is this?
I refuse. No, thank you.
Mordecai would definitely ask, what is this?
It's Halicea. It's Halicea berries in a fortified grain liqueur. It is quite low in the alcohol percentage, but the Amathea berry is just the perfect cure to transit sickness.
But wait, aren't those berries poisonous in large amounts?
Ah, yes. If you were to eat a handful, you would die within minutes. But one berry
I
diluted in the
remember
alcohol.
them. Yeah,
Yes,
I
they are quite popular. Well, in this subsector and in others,
I
difficult
actually
to grow.
was at the planet when they grow them. Quite an enlightening experience.
Very specialist ecosystem, as we've been told. The captain likes to have a decent supply. For those of you who drink this shot that they've given you, but you can sip it. Flavor-wise, this tastes like slow gin. It's got an almost sour, like drying effect on your mouth, but then afterwards there's just this slow, like comeback of saliva. That's just, it takes your mind off of, like, obviously when you feel sick, your mouth is salivating, and so this just dries it out and it just gets rid of that, and the alcohol just settles your stomach, and it's quite a nice little nip, quite a nice little drink.
I will crouch down. I will tap the glass, and I'll just thank you. I'm good.
Why are you squatting to the glass?
I'm squatting as I'm looking at the glass on the table, my dear. It's a curious thing, isn't it? She's gonna look at how many people feel who's green in the group right
Are
now.
you going space
Ezio
crazy?
and Jenny have gone white and then a little bit green. But after drinking the drink, you'd see that Jenny has like a really quite lovely colour to her flesh. Like Jenny, you'd feel a little bit hot, as if the drink has, like, you know, like when you drink a drink, it makes you feel a little bit hot. But that has translated into your
work, you know.
Yeah, there's just that little flush of the poison element to it.
So if you like in my mind, I'll just go, oh, so that's why they're giving this to you. You guys got seasick. She's gonna start giggling. She's just gonna take a seat.
Look, I just spent too much time in the gravity well, okay?
Sure you did, my dear. She's just smiling and looking at you.
I'm gonna throw this glass at you.
I'm pretty sure
if
those
you
are more
wouldn't,
expensive
please.
than your
That
work.
was a joke. Don't worry, I'm not going to be throwing glass around.
She rather
the
hates
captain-
to break things.
The captain will be here within half an hour, the hour at most. He tries not to keep worthy guests waiting.
All right.
Can I roll omniscience?
Sure.
Because I haven't done that in a while. I'm like, wait a minute, I probably should have done that.
I think I'm gonna do this.
Scrutinize him.
No, oh fuck.
You can scrutinise the ship crew, the crewman who is serving you. There are 2 psychers aboard this. Well, actually, there's like 3 or 4 psychers aboard this ship because it's a large enough ship to have multiple astropaths, and it has a navigator.
Yeah.
Your scrutiny, you fail your scrutiny. He lies. He lies. You don't know. You just can't read him. He's got this very professional attitude.
I'll be quiet, except for the fact that I'm gonna be humming a strange tune the entire time, very softly.
much nicer than my first trip on a space vessel.
And I
Less-
think. Oh no, carry on.
No. I was just, all I was going to say is just less disconcerting, at least.
Then I would just look at you and say, she'll stop humming, and she'll look at you and say, well, she has been well treated, so of course she's going to be nice to you.
This is
Liliana.
the least stressed I've been
This
being
is-
on a ship.
Liliana and for Jenny. Liliana more. As a quick side, there's a gentle purr coming from the vessel. Jenny, you would feel just from putting your hand on. It's a well cared for vessel. There's a real harmony coming through the vibrations of this ship. It just feels for Liliana again.
Happy
You feel
reactor
this
noises.
purr of just this humming. It's far less for you compared to Jenny, but as you're just like leaning down, looking at the ship, you know, maybe you put your hand on the desk, and you can just feel this of the ship just on standby, just ticking over, and it's just like a lovely tuned.
Yeah, whenever Liliana's humming, she's humming along to the purring, so it's her thing.
You're humming a very
she's
weird
purring to the-
tune.
She is. She's humming along to the the vibrations of the ship.
Jenny is just gonna remark, those are what we call happy generator noises.
And as time passes and the doors are opened by 2 crew members, I believe that's where our camera would zoom out.
Where's the little shit?
Taking a good view of the acolytes sat, and you would notice now that the door that you came in, the way that you've been positioned in the room seat-wise, like you can't move the seats. The seats are positioned so that you have your side to the fire, but for some reason you have a really good view of the main doors, the 2 doors that now open, and you would all see the captain there. But we will save that little interaction for next time, because who knows, maybe he has a proposal for you. And we're going to need more than just a few minutes to go over that little offer. Who knows, you could call it a message from heaven. But anyway, we will find out what happens with the rogue trader captain, Jack Bristol Von Roy. Von Rose? Von Roy?
No,
Von
Waldo
Roy.
is right. It's totally Spumperdink.
Next time.
Bunkerdink? What?
Spumperdink.
So I certainly hope you've all enjoyed this episode and are looking forward to future episodes to come, where tomorrow we have some more Vampire the Masquerade. Where I get to play
we're
as a
doing that
player.
tomorrow. I kind of
Huzzah!
forgot.
How could you forget, Hannes?
Ouch.
I am
How?
not used to having a bi-weekly game, okay?
It's great. So yes, we will be back tomorrow and then the day after. It's madness. It's pure madness. But on Halloween, the group will be fighting against vampires. Very fitting. Very fitting. Just how I planned.
Right.
And themselves. Don't forget.
Yeah, and themselves.
Take care
I
of
find
yourselves.
this very racist against my people.
And as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Why?
Listen
Remember
to
to
the
drink your
demons
poison
inside.
juice. What the? Where'd that go?